Before this video starts, I just want to give a massive shout out to all my channel members. If you want to receive a shout out, then become a channel member today and you'll be shown on screen like all these other channel members here. Anyways, enjoy the video. So, I may have made some errors in my reporting of some of these facts. Some of these facts are also a bit outdated. As the hit singer Rag and Bone Man once said, "I'm only human after all. I sometimes make these sorts of errors, but here I am to correct and update myself on these facts." I didn't really have much written for an intro, so if you enjoy me correcting myself, then be sure to give this video a like and sub to the channel if you enjoy what you see here. With that being said, let's correct some facts. Awakened Earth has the highest chance to dodge behemoth attacks for 1 second, with a 30% chance to do so. The new highest chance for behemoth dodge belongs to Cat Eggpod, with the 50% chance to dodge behemoth attacks. Spiritual Yalala and Masked Grandmaster Cat are currently the only relic enemies without enemy guide entries. This fact is outdated, as these enemies are now in the enemy guide. Super Feline III is the only non-uber rare or legend unit to have Colossus Slayer. The addition of Jetpack and Maze Cat made it no longer true. You could also throw in God Emperor Babel in there, but like legend rares are just ubers with extra steps. Masked Grandmaster Cat and Colossus Gorilla have the highest HP out of any relic enemies, both having 4 million HP. Since the release of this video, 2 relic enemies with higher health stats have been released, these being Ibilujon having 4.2 million health and Esoteric Earl having 4.5 million health. Colossus Gorilla also has the 4th highest damage in the game out of any enemy, dealing 160,000 damage across 2 attacks. The other 3 are Teacher Cybear, Alien Filibuster, and Blue Filibuster. 2 enemies have since been added that deal more damage than Zero Luza, these being Infernal Tyrant Neandum, who is able to deal 666,666 damage on their first hit, and Insangalion being able to deal 200,000 damage, making Zero Luza only the 6th strongest. However, when Zero Luza is strengthened, this position goes up to 5th place. Undead Cat is also the only non-uber rare unit to have the Soul Strike ability, as well as the only unit to not need talents to unlock the ability. Since the release of this video, several non-uber units have gained the Soul Strike ability, including Chief and Clown Cat. Cretaceous Scissorex and the Foliverin are currently the only behemoth enemies not to appear in either the Uncanny Legends or Zero Legends. Both Cretaceous Scissorex and the Foliverin have since appeared in Zero Legends, along with several other behemoth enemies added after this video. DNA Plantation is one of the 2 Uncanny Legends subchapters to have no relic enemies, the other being Diver City. There are 2 more subchapters without relic enemies, these 2 being Spacetime Distortion and Dead Heat Land. Kai, Coppermine, and Ku are the only uber rares with more than 1 seasonal variant. They all have a summer variant and a winter variant. With the introduction of Frozen Rose Cat, the 2nd variant of Ice Cat, as well as Floral Kalisa, the 2nd variant of Kalisa, this fact is now outdated. The Yonshakuduma Firework and Meta Filibuster are the only enemies with more than 1 unique frame in their knockback animation. This is very subtle on the Firework, only having its flame change size, but this is very noticeable on Meta Filibuster with them glitching out. Super Metal Hippo also has more than 1 unique frame in their knockback animation. There are more enemies with more than 1 frame in their knockback animation, like Director Kurosawa. However, they don't have any change in the pose or anything after the first frame, so they effectively have a 1 frame knockback. Lucifer and Kronos are the only Almighties not to have the god status in the religions they originate from. Lucifer is the fallen angel who became the devil in Christianity, and Kronos is the personification of time in Greek mythology. This Kronos is not to be confused by the Titan with the same pronunciation, who is the leader of the Titans and father of Zeus, Hades, and Poseidon. As it turns out, I have made the very common mistake of mistaking Kronos, the personification of time in Greek myth, for the leader of the Titans with a very similar name of Kronos. Mighty Atur LTD and Teacher Bearcat are the only non-legend rares that have the insane damage ability. Coincidentally, they both deal insane damage against zombies. However, this is only the case for Teacher Bear's true form. With the introduction of Fallen Bear Cat and Ultimate Windy, this fact is now outdated. While on the topic of the Battle Cats Unite, since zombie enemies aren't present in this version, some anti-zombie units had their abilities changed. For example, Pile Driver is now tough against all traits as well as being able to knock back every single trait. With the introduction of the Heavenly Tower, zombies have been added into the Battle Cats Unite. However, Pile Driver still targets every enemy trait. Trainspotting is a reference to the novel of the same name, which received a film adaptation in 1996. Said film was rated number 10 on the top 100 British films of all time via the British Film Institute. This fact is probably a case of me just simply overthinking things, since Trainspotting is an actual hobby of rail enthusiasts, so there probably isn't a reference to the film and novel. The Dragon Emperors is the only regular Uber set to consist of only males. All of the units are either described with male pronouns or use titles used for men, such as king or god. The White Day Uber set is the only other non-collab set to consist of only men. While the first half of this fact is still true, the second half about White Day being a male-only set is now outdated, with the addition of Frozen Rose Cat. A teaser for Killer Axe Cat for 2024 was shown during the Cat Day event in 2023, and as we got Killer Tank in 2023, we will most likely get Killer Titan Cat in 2030, and possibly Killer Super Feline in 2031. This assumption turned out to be incorrect, as we simply got a Killer Axe base without any new unit being added. Lil Zyklone, Mini White Cyclone, and Zyklone are the only gendered Cyclones. They also all happen to be male. With the introduction of the Mini Angelic Cyclone, we now have 4 Cyclones with a confirmed gender, as this Cyclone is a woman, making her the first confirmed woman of the Cyclone family. The individual names for the twin stars are Shishiru and Komari. This is only true for the Japanese version, as their names in the English version are Sisi and Koma. Ectodoge, Ectosnake, and Ectobaba are the only monthly enemies to appear in Stories of Legend. They are also the only enemies in Stories of Legend to not be listed in the enemy guide. As of the very latest update as of the release of this video, these enemies are in the enemy guide, so this is an outdated fact. They still do not have an actual description, however. There are currently only 3 units with Toxic Resist talents as of version 12.4, these being Lil Eraser, Maximum the Fighter, and Mystery Cat Girl Yuki. However, in Yuki's case, this is only true in the Japanese version. Mystery Cat Girl Yuki gained talents in the English version during 12.6. Excluding all Target Ubers, Epic Fest Ubers, Seasonals, and Collaboration Ubers, there are only 3 Ubers who target traitless. These being Mercia with her dodge, Gladios with slow and knockback, and Isamboshi, who deals massive damage against traitless. Since the release of this episode, Mad Dr. Clay gained traitless targeting ultra talents, and Ninja Girl Tomo had released, having a 50% chance to freeze traitless enemies for 3 seconds. The maximum hypothetical user rank a player could achieve in the Japanese version of the Battle Cats is 68,223 as of version 12.6. However, since this would mean getting literally every single unit in the game, getting every single possible plus level, and even getting some unreleased stuff, let's just say that this might be slightly hard to achieve. Obviously, with new units being added, this number is now outdated, although I can't be bothered to do the math again. Nobuland Passalan, Lil Valkyrie, and Lazwas Reborn are curse immune, despite not having any abilities that are affected by curse. Mystic Clan Passalan actually has a use for their curse immunity now. However, in order for it to actually have a use, you need to unlock the Strawn vs Relic talents. Headmistress Jian, Lilith, and Huntress Tarun are the only Galaxy Gals to not have the traditional naming in their evolved forms, the 3 of them lacking the word type in their evolved forms. Pegasa, the newest Galaxy Gal, also doesn't follow this naming scheme. Mighty Crystal Moo is tied with Freshman Cat Jobs and Lil Clop's Egg for the lowest movement speed of all cat units. The 10 years on a stone unit is the actual slowest unit, but since this unit has a speed of 0, it doesn't move at all, so these units are still the slowest that can actually move. The highest multiplier a unit has for a stat currently are units who have the Behemoth Slayer ability, the Massive Damage ability, and their trait is affected by treasures. This has a 10 times multiplier against their target. The units who hit these multipliers are Courier Cat, Mushroom Cat, Chief Cat, and Fabled Adventurer Kana. Fallen Bear Cat has a higher multiplier of 12.5 times because they are both a Behemoth Slayer and have the insane damage ability. As of this video, the only Advent stage present in the Battle Cats Unite is no Plan A. However, this is specifically for the Japanese version. Honey Trap and Realm of Carnage have since been dropped, and Parade of the Dead is planned to drop sometime in June if the trend of dropping a stage every 3 months is consistent. Masked Grandmaster Cat, Spiritual Yulala, and Spiritual Earl are the only relic enemies that are not present in the enemy dictionary. With the change to the enemy guide, these enemies now appear. However, they lack any sort of proper description. And finally, Hell Commissioner Emma and Belly Dancer Cat are the 2 units who gained both the true form and talents in the same update. Every single Almighty that existed in version 9.10 gained both true forms and talents at the same time. These were all of the facts I could identify within these episodes to be incorrect or outdated and corrected myself on. If you enjoyed this video, then be sure to give it a like and sub to the channel if you haven't already, and while you're down there, be sure to comment down on a Battle Cats fact that you know about. Also, shout out to the following channel members: Something Something YouTube, Potato King, and Athani for being silver members or higher. Become a channel member today to support me in a way that helps keep the lights on. Channel members also get an exclusive role in my Discord server, for which you can find a link to down in the description down below. Anyways, I hope you have a wonderful day.